Axel Hove's first week at Borealis Branding was a constellation of small humiliations, the sort every fresh graduate assures themselves will turn into anecdotes once they make partner. He spilled cloudberry soda on the CO's shoes, sent out an all-staff email with the subject line, "Free donuts 2 days ago," and discovered, by way of an icy, ungraspable silence, that nobody in the sleek Oslo office actually used Slack emojis. Yet, each night, when the city's lights dimmed and the winter sky pulled its velvet curtain, Axel hiked to the roof of the Hydrabidget parking tower and stared north. The aurora appeared to dance just for him, ribbons of green, violet, and bruised blue that seemed to spell something against the heavens. All Norwegians call the northern lights magical, but Axel felt another, more professional word crawl up his spine. Branded. His suspicion began with a single curve and emerald arc that, to his advertising blunted eye, looked precisely like a stylized F. Not just any F, but the retro, rune-inspired letterforms showcased in a century-old archive of frost giant myths he had skimmed during university. An absurd thought struck him, half joke, half awe. What if the aurora was a message? A celestial banner ad run by creatures older than the glacier? The more he watched, the clearer the glyphs became. Stacked sigils, flickering disclaimers in sub-zero hues, even something akin to a loyalty program star. By the time he stepped off the roof, frost in his eyebrows and a reckless grin on his lips, Axel had drafted his first real agency pitch. Borealis Branding already, working with the largest cold weather client in history. The next morning, the office hummed with the low voice of coffee machines and the high ping of mounting deadlines. Axel cornered his manager, Sigrid Nygaard, during her ritualistic grapefruit dissection. "I think the Northern Lights are advertisements," he blurted. Seeds sprayed onto the countertop. Sigrid's right eyebrow arched like a ski jump. Advertisements for what? Polar fleece? Glow sticks? "Frost giants," Axel said, lowering his voice so it wouldn't echo off tempered glass. He unrolled a series of printouts, screenshots from security camera footage on the parking tower roof, each frame annotated with neon lines that traced runic letters. "They're using the aurora as a billboard, and no one is monetizing it." Sigrid tapped a manicured nail against the images. "Assuming this isn't a concussion dream, what do frost giants want us to buy?" Axel inhaled, half expecting his own breath to crystallize. "Winter itself." Silence stretched. Then Sigrid laughed, not dismissively, but with the wry delight of a strategist glimpsing a new demographic segment. "Book a discovery call," she said. "If you can find a contact person, I'll give you 15 minutes in the Monday scrum." Axel's exhilaration curdled into logistics. How do you cold call a myth? He ducked into an unused podcast studio, its walls padded like a soft serve cone, and scoured wetnet forums where folklore nerds swapped star charts for the price of Bitcoin. A thread titled "Auroral Runic Passing, ARP," had lain dormant for years. Someone named Joe, motor profile picture. A snowflaked eyeball claimed to have built an open-source translator. Axel downloaded the repository, feeding it video of last night's lights. On his laptop screen, glyphs dissolved and reassembled into blunt, rhythmic Norwegian. "We are Svalthird, keepers of permafrost. We seek brand partner in Midgard. Deliver us a contract before the crow moon." The signature at the bottom rendered as a single colossus of 3 runes intertwined, an ancient mark Axel recognized from Viking carvings. The sigil of Svalthird, a dynasty of frost giants rumored to sleep beneath the Svalbard ice shelf. His skin prickled, not with fear, but with campaign fever. These beings weren't just sending messages. They were actively soliciting representation. And Borealis Branding, located barely a latitudinal line south, sat poised to answer. That night, Axel climbed the parking tower again, bundled in his puffiest parka, laptop balanced on a crate of sand used for icy sidewalks. Wind gnawed at his cheeks. He waited until the aurora shimmered like an unfurled serpent and then opened a blank text document. Using the PAR program in reverse, he typed, "Borealis Branding hereby expresses interest in serving as your agency of record. Services include strategy, copy, design, influencer outreach. Please propose scope and deliverables. Regards, Axel Hove, Junior Account Executive." He hit transmit, which in practice meant pointing his webcam at the sky so the program could convert his words into a palimpsest of blinking light. The camera's shutter clicked 39 times, translating letters into kilotons of photon code the aurora might echo. When the green glow pulsed thrice in reply, Axel nearly toppled from the roof. The response unfurled on his screen. "Come to us at nadir of midnight. Bring in that burns." "Ink that burns?" He Googled frantically, fingers stiff with cold, until he landed on a folklore entry describing Fenris blot, an ink brewed from glacier soot, pine pitch, and the blood of a snow-white crow. The ink, the text warned, etched contracts, unbreakable by mortal hands. Axel glanced at his watch. 23:07. The nadir, true, midnight fell at 0:43 BTTTB Motiforce. At 0:43, procurement would be tied. He sprinted through streets glazed with salt and silence. A taxidermy shop on Acres Gata kept eccentric hours catering to avant-garde playwrights. Its door was still ajar. Axel barged in, waving his corporate debit card like a truce flag. "Do you have crow blood?" he gasped. The owner, a man who smelled of varnish and dark secrets, produced a small vial without comment. Soot he scraped from a cast-iron stove. Pine pitch he chipped off a tourist campfire souvenir. By 0:12, Axel was back on the roof, concocting ink in a discarded coffee cup, stirring with a receipt for oat milk cappuccinos. At 0:43, the stars vanished behind a sudden veil of silver mist that pooled into a doorway of ice. From it stepped figures taller than Oslo's cathedral spire, skin shimmering like packed snow under moonlight. Their eyes glowed glacier blue. Their breath formed crystalline runes before evaporating. The nearest giant knelt, bringing his face level with Axel's. Each exhale felt like a freezer door opening. "You made contact." The giant's voice resonated across steel and bone. "Are you authorized to sign for your species?" Axel's knees rattled like sleigh bells. He thought of Siegfried's grapefruit laugh, of Borealis Branding's harassment prevention PowerPoint that said in one slide, "Empower interns to own deliverables." "Yes," he croaked. "I have full signing authority." The giant produced a slab of ice the size of a conference table, its surface etched with molten symbols that glowed cobalt. Axel recognized legal phrasings, exclusivity, perpetuity, worldwide rights. He skimmed the key deliverable. In exchange for stories, songs, and reverence, mortal realm consents to hosting an endless winter commencing immediately upon signature. He swallowed. The word endless snagged like a fishhook. But marketing contracts were always hyperbolic. Timeless classics, eternal style. He gripped the crowblood pen, scrawled his name in rune letters half-remembered from childhood snow day doodles, and felt the ink scorch into the icy parchment like molten copper. The slab flashed once, then dissolved into flurries sucked heavenward. "Delighted," boomed the giant. "We anticipate a fruitful brandship." The doorway sealed. The aurora winked off like a dead pixel. Oslo's skyline, moments ago crisp, now blurred within a snow squall rolling faster than any weather system Axel had ever seen. He staggered home beneath flakes as fat as coins, nursing the tingling satisfaction of a closed deal. Morning commute resembled an Antarctic expedition. Snowdrifts swallowed tram tracks, street lamps wore crown-like icicles. Yet Axel found the chaos oddly pleasant. Proof of concept. Inside Borealis branding, employees clustered at windows filming TikToks about snowpocalypse. He slipped into the weekly scrum, cheeks charred, wind pink. "Nice work on that seafood chain proposal," Sigrid began, before noticing the storm. "Anyone know why our weather app says undefined?" Axel cleared his throat and opened his laptop, ready to dazzle with numbers, glacier-level impressions, universe-wide reach. But before he could click his deck, an emergency alert overtook every screen in the office. "Meteor Orolog. Institute urgent bulletin polar vortex expansion in definite direction." Sigrid's gaze speared him. "What did you do?" Axel, still in the high of deliverable triumph, blurted, "Secure our biggest client ever," he explained, breathless. "Frost giants. Auroral media buy. Burning ink contract." Words fluttered like snowflakes, melting before comprehension. "Endless winter," repeated Lars from finance, his beard crusted with frost. "You signed a perpetual weather clause?" Axel shrugged, offering a brand strategist's mantra. Exclusivity drives value. But value froze in the air that afternoon. Flights grounded, arbor ice thickened around cargo ships like opaque sugar. Copenhagen reported blizzards by lunchtime, Marrakech by dusk. Hashtags shifted from snow day vibes to climate nope. Then Axel-geddon. Once an intern live tweeted Borealis's role, governments demanded calls Axel could not answer. Sigrid's phone rang until its battery died. Protesters gathered outside wielding cardboard suns. By nightfall, Oslo's power grid moaned under hoarfrost. Borealis branding relocated to a lower conference room, each employee huddled in sleeping bags branded with defunct agencies' logos. Axel sat alone at a corner table, glow of his laptop powered by a sputtering generator. He reran the ARP translator on the contract screenshot, combing for loopholes with the fervour of a law student on espresso suppositories. Clause 7 leapt out. Endless winter may be terminated upon mutual agreement or upon fulfillment of sponsorship KPIs. KPIs, at last, something he understood. Scrolling further, he found them enumerated with mythic precision. 1. The name self-third must be spoken by every living human tongue. 2. The ancient rhyme hymn must reach position 1 on global song charts for 13 consecutive fortnights. 3. A temple of black ice must be built where the southernmost palm tree once grew. Axel's pulse thudded. Achieve the KPIs. The frost giants would consider the sponsorship complete. Winter could end. Advertising goals, nothing more. He unplugged the generator, rousing half-frozen colleagues, and pitched a salvage campaign. Phase 1, name awareness. Borealis staff spammed surviving Wi-Fi nodes with cold open videos. Influencers licking icicles etched Svolthered, language learning apps adding pronunciation drills, push notifications, turning good morning into Svolthered Morgen. Phase 2, rhyme hymn. The agency's lone sound designer sampled the groan of cracking lakes, layered it under a pop melody cribbed from Norwegian children's lullabies, and persuaded a stranded K-pop group, mid-tour when airports iced over, to record vocals in exchange for heaters. The track, Freeze Frame Love, uploaded to every streaming platform that still functioned. Phase 3 posed a geography problem. The southernmost palm tree, according to botany databases, grew in the Cook Islands, now entombed in sleet. With no flights, Axel coordinated a chain of transmissions. Snowmobile to Bergen, ice-fitted freighter to New York, ham radio to Chilean research ships crawling toward Antarctica. The blueprint specified obsidian walls quenched in penguin shadow and spires catching starlight like prison bars. Donations poured from frozen corporations eager for thaw. Volunteers carved ice bricks with repurposed surfboards. Weeks blurred, humanity adapted by huddling in digital camps, all screens glowing pale blue. Svaltherd became meme, oath, lullaby. The rhyme hymn climbed charts as rivals slipped into power outages. At week 13, it held, won barely, But metrics counted. The Black Ice Temple, though more jagged shed than cathedral, finally rose on the spot where a withered palm drooped under icicle dreadlocks. Axel patched satellite photos into the contract submittal portal, essentially a Dropbox folder encoded in polar lights, and waited. On the 79th night of endless winter, the aurora returned, brighter than any since the deal. Its tendrils twisted into words visible worldwide, no translator required. KPIs achieved, gratitude logged, sponsorship terminated effective dawn. All through the polarless night, snow fell harder, a last exhale. As the planet rotated into sunrise, clouds cracked like plaster to reveal blue so intense it stung. Ice melted in torrents, rivers burst free, singing steam. Borealis branding employees crawled from conference room bivouacs, weeping at the simple, punishing warmth. Sigrid found Axel outside, pants rolled to the knee, feet sunk in meltwater up to his ankles. It was late. Sigrid found Axel outside, pants rolled to the knee, feet sunk in meltwater up to his ankles, sunlight lacquered puddles with sheen. "We survived your onboarding error," she said, voice hoarse but playful. "Next time run creative past legal." Axel flashed a tremulous smile. "Think the Giants will renew next quarter?" "Only if their brand equity spikes," she said, slapping his shoulder. For a frozen heartbeat, he imagined pitching them summer-long days, cool shade sponsorships, a solstice festival powered by sunlight. The sky, once again merely atmospheric, offered no reply. That afternoon, global leaders convened, via patched satellites, to draft a cosmic contract act banning unauthorized deals with mythic entities. Borealis Branding's logo appeared in every news chyron. Their social engagement metrics soared. Inbound inquiries doubled. Troll kings wanting e-commerce strategies. Selkie clans seeking environmentally conscious swimwear endorsements. Axel updated his CV. Closed youth, targeted interspecies partnership, managed KPI crisis to resolution, boosted brand visibility for both parties by 400%. Then he shut the laptop, walked to what remained of the Oslo fjord, and watched bergs calve into glittering ruin. He felt neither hero nor villain, only a junior account executive who'd treated the universe like an open brief and found the universe had deadlines too. Night approached, crisp but survivable. Axel searched the horizon for the first brushstroke of aurora, part of him craving that intoxicating glow of unsold potential. When green finally shimmered, faint as an idea half-formed, he did not climb the parking tower or open ARP. Instead, he shoved hands in pockets and turned back toward the lights of a thawing city, repeating the scars of the rhyme hymn under his breath until the words lost meaning, the way jingles do after too many play. Above him, the aurora danced on, uncertain whether to shine or simply fade, waiting, like any brand, for someone foolhardy enough to answer its call.